Yeah, let's talk about Shohei Ohtani. He's obviously the news of the baseball sphere right now. He's a free agent, and he's not gonna go. Most likely, I don't think he's gonna go back to the Angels. He shouldn't, because I mean they're a really horrible team. But I've been seeing, because when you go on social media, you see a lot of the Photoshop pictures and all that stuff of obviously the Yankees and things like that. But one of the teams that they're saying is really, really aggressive with potentially bringing in Shohei Ohtani is the Cubs, the Chicago Cubs. So obviously, I'm a big believer that I think he's going to stay in the West Coast. I think he's going to stay with I think the Mariners have a shot, or the Dodgers, obviously, Giants, those teams, because they have a lot of money. And I personally don't see him going into the Chicago Cubs, because it's not the West Coast. It's cold. It's windy. The weather is not that good in Chicago. Obviously, if they throw him a ton of money, probably. But what do you think? Do you see that as a real thing, or do you think that it's just talk right now?
I don't think it's just talk. I think there's a lot of rumors that are flying around. There's going to be tons of speculation because of his, the type of player that he is. But I do think there's a lot of things that are just sort of misinformation on that. But then there's also going to be truth. I think there's some little bits of truth. So I did see what you're talking about, where on Twitter, there's a lot of things flying around with regards to like Ohtani right now, the front runners being the Dodgers and the Cubs. So when you think about it, like it's two totally different, sides of the country. And I just, like I said this, when you watch some of our videos from the past, when we talked about Ohtani, rumors and things that were swirling, I just feel like he's going to end up in the West Coast. I just think that, when you have these athletes that are super mega stars and they have great agents, their job is to market these guys and create rumors sometimes that maybe aren't there, but also to create competition. So you'll probably start to hear again the Yankees, want to be interested, but it's really more of a chess game to raise the Ohtani price. Because if he ends up, I think the odds are he's going to end up on the Dodgers, but if the Dodgers know they're going to get him, they don't have to spend as much on him, right? Or they could kind of lowball him to some degree for what he's worth. But you got to get all these other quote unquote teams he may be interested in the mix, right? You got to say the Cubs, you got to say the Yankees, you got to say, whoever else is a team that maybe he might be interested in, Texas or something. I'm just throwing it out there. But I think that's only to drive up the price for him to ultimately end up getting a bigger payday out of the Dodgers. That's just my prediction. He's going to end up a Dodger. And that, the lineup is going to be stacked, but still you can have an awesome lineup. It doesn't mean it's a guaranteed championship, as we know, because, Dodgers had a really good team already, but I just think he's going to end up a Dodger. I think a lot of the rumors are just going to be to drive up his price, and he stays on the West Coast.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Dodgers is probably, obviously they have the money to back it up. So, and again, it's the West Coast. So I do think that, it's definitely going to be interesting. You're big on, we had this debate before in other videos of the market of the team. I think Shohei Ohtani breaks that. There's no such thing as a market for there's no, he's so good that he doesn't matter if he gets traded not traded, but signs with the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are just in the World Series, but you know what I'm trying to say. A team that doesn't have, the A's, the Oakland A's, or now they're the Las Vegas A's or whatever. Is he bigger than the market? Or if he goes to the Tampa Bay Rays, okay, I'm a Rays fan, so they don't have the best market. Is his card prices just boom dead, or it doesn't matter? Because the Angels weren't great, and his card prices are crazy.
I don't think so. I think he is going to sustain that value in the hobby in terms of interest, because with him, if he stayed on the Angels for the rest of his career, it's more about his individual statistics. I think people are speculating that he could potentially become considered the greatest of all time. So it wouldn't even necessarily be about win these championships for a lot of, I think, collectors or people that are in the hobby or really like Ohtani. It would just be more about him compiling stats. So yeah, I think you're right. If he ends up being like you said, a Tampa Bay Ray, and they don't really win any championships, or maybe make the postseason a little bit, but don't have success, let's say, and winning rings, I still think he's going to have a lot of hobby love. But but I think what would multiply it is if he did get on a team that won championships, made the playoffs a lot. He saw a lot of postseason action. I mean, that's gonna like whatever X his multiplier on the values. But I think his value will be similar to what he has because people come to expect this tremendous player, two-way player. Now the thing about it is like two-way may not be the same like it always was for him though, right? Because he's having surgery, and he's probably not pitching next year. So what does that look like, right? Like, is there a big difference? It's interesting. You can leave us a comment on it, or just and chat with us on this live. Is he going to be as desirable because he's not pitching and hitting so amazing? Now all he's going to mainly do is hit. Like that's going to be a key difference, because that was really half of what made him so fantastic. Like, what's the difference now if he's just a hitter? What's the difference between him and like one of the just amazing hitters like that's in the league?
Well, yeah, that's true. He's an amazing hitter, but I mean, he does hit. He could hit 30, 40 home runs. I guess there's a bunch of
I can name a bunch of people that hit 30, 40 home runs.
He could steal too. He's actually fast.
Okay,
I know. Obviously, the arm is the pitching is what separated him from everyone else, which is what we talked about in a prior video. Was like, if you sign him for so long, is he going to be pitching for that long while hitting as well? These are all the things that there's going to be considered when he gets that contract. And we made another video again a long time ago about it was potential $700 million. I wonder if that's off the table now because of the surgery, or is that actually still possible?
Yeah, I think it's off the table. I mean, I know that seemed like a stretch, that number, but I mean, listen, he could potentially, but I think that any savvy team, say the Dodgers or whatever, they realistically, you're going to sign him to at least a 10-year deal. He'll probably get more because 10 years for big stars is like the minimum now. So like for Ohtani, he's probably going to be able to fetch 13 or 14 years or something. But he's not going to pitch.
Let me see his age.
There's no way he's going to pitch that entire time. So
he's 29. He's 29 years old.
Okay. So you're talking
like probably 10 to 12 year deal. Oh my goodness! But that's gonna in the end. That's gonna be horrible.
Well, but he's not. I think we both agree he's not pitching. Like, he's not gonna be pitching that whole contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Unless let's say the first half of it you use him as a starter, and the last half you use him as a, closer. But I don't know how bullpen stuff works. I don't know how bullpen stuff works with him being an everyday hitter though. Like with the pitching, they scheduling him, and plus he's part of a 6-man rotation from what I understand too, right? So he that's part of like what they were doing with him was like giving him like 6 days, put him in a 6-day rotation. But like if you're a reliever, I don't know how much you could kind of like be turning it on and off like that.
Well, he did it for the Classic, for the World Baseball Classic. I know that was one night, and that was pressure packed. So I actually read that or heard that somewhere that they see a future. Not they, like the team, but the person leaving this comment said that they could see Ohtani later on becoming a closer, less on his arm, and just still hitting bombs. So you still get best of both worlds. I mean, every team needs a legit closer, so his value's still going to be there.